Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth and welcome to StampScrapandMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And it is Monday, July 29th, 2019, and we're going to make a Christmas card tonight. I am using because I'm going to forget, the Most Wonderful Time product medley, which is new in the holiday catalog, which will go live to customers on September the 4th. But I love this suite so much that yesterday, if you check my channel on July 28th, I made a Christmas card, and we're going to do another one today because it's such a versatile set. So let me switch the camera over and I'm going to show you what we're making. Okay, so the card we made yesterday was this card. Isn't that pretty? And so tonight we are going to make this card. Actually, they're identical. I've just made multiples of them. And it's a super quick card to put together. And I'm going to give you all the dimensions and what you need to do to create this card. So it's a standard card base. So you need a piece of Whisper White thick, cut at 11 by 4 1/4 and scored at 5 1/2. You need a piece of Old Olive that is 4 by 5 1/4, and you need a piece of the Designer Series paper, which is in the product medley, that is 3 3/4 by 5. You need a 1 inch by 5 1/2 inch piece of the Designer Series paper, and that's just a cut off from this. You need a piece of 1/2 inch by whatever, it's just a whatever you've got lying around. It's just to stamp the sentiment on here. I've got a drawer full of this size paper. Whenever you cut off a piece of Whisper White for matting, you always end up with this 1/2 inch, and I save them and I use them for cards such as this. And then you also need a piece of Whisper White scrap. Now I have, and you need a little bit of the gold glimmer paper, which I've already die cut that as well. The stamp set we're using is part of a kit, product medley, and this is the stamp set. It's called The Most Wonderful Time. It's photopolymer. There are 11 pieces of 11 stamps in the set. You've got everything from a large tree to a small tree, presents, and then you've got a variety of different sentiments that you can use on the inside and outside of the card. It also comes with a 6-piece die set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6-piece die set. Always looks like there's something missing. And I have already stamped the large tree and cut it out, and I've already stamped the presents and cut it out. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to stamp the presents. So there's the large tree, and then here are the presents. And it's one stamp and one die, but it stamps and cuts 3 at a time. And then the star, whoops, I can't pick it up, which is in this gold glimmer paper. This is the die for that. Okay, and then of course you need an envelope, and I've already stamped the outside of the envelope with some candy canes. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to stamp the presents. You all know how to stamp the tree and cut it out, so it's just simple, easy peasy. But the presents, we are going to stamp it in Old Olive. Of course you can stamp whatever color you want, and the stamp is quite I can't explain it, variegated in the ink, and you're going to get sort of a washed out look on some of the presents. And then I'm going to take, for the case of this card, I'm going to take real red, and I'm going to ink up the bows and the wrapping for the presents. And I found that the best way of lining these up is to line up both ends of the wrapping, of the wrap around the presents, to the bottom of the presents. I'm going to show you how easy that is. And I'm going to try and do this without getting my head in the way, but I'm back from my work surface a bit for the sake of the camera, but I think I got this. Look at that. So that's how easy it is to line up the presents and the bows. I'm not going to cut that out now because you don't need to see me do that, but that's how easy it was. Now the tree, I'm actually going to, I can get rid of the, for now, I'll get rid of the paper piercing mat. For the tree, I have stamped it in Old Olive. Oftentimes when we use the Stampin' Blends, we stamp in the black memento. I didn't want the tree to have that, the black outline of the branches. I want it to have the green outline. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the bullet end of the dark Old Olive and I'm just coloring sort of in the branches. I'm not even coloring, I'm just squiggling on them. And it's just to give, when I actually color it with the light, it's just to give it a little bit more contrast. Let me show you what I mean. So nothing scientific about this. Now I'm going to take the light and I'm just going to color all over and pick up some of that dark and blend in as I go along. Now, if you wanted to, and I did this in a previous video and I had to scrap the video because I thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to put Wink of Stella on the tree and cover it in Wink of Stella? And I attempted to do it, and I know you know where I'm going with this, right? I attempted to do it, and not enough of the Wink of Stella was coming out, so I squeezed it, and I squeezed it over the tree. Yep, and I had all the pigment, the silver pigment from the Wink of Stella, even though it's a clear glitter, it just blobbed all over the tree. So it was like, okay, so much for that video. I guess I should have saved it to show you what reality is sometimes, right? And I'm not doing this very precise. I'm just coloring all over to get the whole tree colored in. There we go. And that's the tree. I'm going to show it to you now. And so that is the tree. Now I'm going to take my card base, and there's the Old Olive. I am going to mount the Designer Series paper onto the Old Olive. And if you want to see all the different styles, or all the different patterns, I should say, that is in this Designer Series paper pack, that's part of the Most Wonderful Time product medley. If you look back on July 28th's video, you will see I went through pattern by pattern, so you have an idea as to what the patterns are that are available in the Designer Series paper and in this product medley. It's a really awesome product medley, and everything you need to create a whole bunch of cards is included. And of course, if you supplement it with some Whisper White Thick, the sky's the limit. Okay, so that's the outside of the card. And on the inside of the card, I should have stamped it ahead of while I had the green out. But it says, hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And we're going to stamp that on the inside in the Old Olive. I love the grid paper because I'm going to use it to line up to make sure I get everything straight. Mind you, there we go. And that's it for the green. And what we're going to do before I forget, we're going to take this cut off piece and we're just going to mount it to the bottom of the inside of the card. And line it up against the bottom. There we go. I usually cut it just a titch longer, and that way I can trim it off. I don't like it when it's kind of short on the inside. So that's flush to the edge. There we go. And now what are we going to do? Oh, we are going to take the tree. Now part of this product medley also included some really thin, I love this stuff, tinsel ribbon. And I am going to take a small cut off of a dimensional. And I'm going to attach a piece. I'm going to attach to the back. I'm going to edge to the back, and that way it's going to secure that down. I found it easier to wrap and look at from the outside, from the good side. I did it the other way around and it wasn't even, and so I had to take it all apart. So I found it easier to sort of wrap and look at the outside of the good side of the Christmas tree. And we're just wrapping the tinsel around the tree. And then I'm going to cut it off here, and again I'm going to secure it with a piece of dimensional. Now one of the other things that we're going to do is we are going to put a bunch of dimensionals on the back of this, and that way it's not going to go anywhere when we put it on the card. So just randomly put down dimensionals. I'm using up an old sheet of dimensionals, you know. I'm sure you do the same thing. And I'm going to put another one here. Okay, and I'm going to peel the backings off. And there we go. And I'm going to adhere this to the front of the card. And I'm going to adhere it towards the bottom right hand side. Oops, I didn't. There we go. And then what I did was I just kind of took my fingers and I played with the tinsel a little bit so that it didn't look so perfect, and I kind of bunched up some of the edges so that it's not so perfect. Okay. Takes a while for my camera to, when I bring it up close, for my camera to zoom in. Okay, now what we're going to do is the presents, and I've already stamped and die cut these out. And I'm going to put the tall one here at the back, and I'm just going to put a big dimensional in there, and I'm going to sort of tuck it there like that. And then I'm going to take this one that has sort of the curly bow, and I'm going to tuck it in like that. So it's going to overlap the tree and this present a bit. So I'm only going to put the dimensional on the bottom right hand corner. And I do have I sense of accomplishment when I finish off a sheet of dimensionals. Am I the only one that feels like that? When you actually finish it off and you can throw it in the garbage. I've got all these partially used dimensionals on in my craft room, and then I'm just putting some dot of Tombow, and that way the Tombow is going to adhere it to both the tree and the other present. There we go. I'm just going to hold that down a bit, and then I'm going to, this is the smaller present, and again, while I'm holding this with the other hand, I'm going to put a dimensional on it, and I'm going to tuck it on this side. Oops, no, sorry. I should have kept the dimensional closer to the other side. There we go. And I'm going to do that like that. Okay, so now we need the star. And there's the star we had already cut out. And that's just using the glimmer paper and the die. I'm going to put a piece of dimensional on it. Yeah, I do have small dimensionals, which I could be using. But like I said, I've got all these partially used sheets of dimensionals that I want to use up. There's the star, and I've put him on. Now, it just needs the sentiment. And this is the old Christmas tree, and it is in real red. And I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to wing it here because like I said, I'm quite a ways away from it. That'll work. That'll work. This is what it should look like, but I was quite a ways from it, so it's a little bit lower. So I'm going to trim off the edge here because I'm going to tuck it under, But of course it depends on where your dimensionals, where I place the dimensionals, right? And then on this end, I'm going to fork it. And what I do is I go up the center, then I go left, and then I go right. Yeah. I'm just going to trim it off a titch here, and that's just so I could get it underneath the tree. There we go. Okay, so and that's going to get popped up with dimensionals. You know what? I'm still not happy with that. There we go. And I'm going to put one. I always put a dimensional in the middle because we know if it goes to the mail, you get this, it sags when it gets crushed. And, oh, Christmas tree. There we go. There we go. And that is using the Most Wonderful Time product medley. Now, if you wanted to, you could put some Wink Castella on the bows. You could add Wink Castella to the trees. You could add, ooh, hold on a second. Oh, wait. Hold, please. Hold, please. I actually am going to put a little rhinestone right there. You can hardly even see it, but I'm going to put a little rhinestone there, and I am going to color it in the light cherry. I don't have any red, so I've got light cherry cobbler. There we go. And you know what? It's one of those details that you won't even see. There you go. You can see it. So that's my Most Wonderful Time product medley. Super simple card for tonight. And thanks for stopping by. And if you want to hear and see more upcoming videos, click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notified when there's a new video up. Take care, have a great night, and we'll talk to you again soon.